Good afternoon, students. Since we complete up to 9 questions, I think, from the properties and from the exercise 4.2. Now here the remaining questions you have to do by yourself. Is it clear? So today we start a new topic, and the name of this topic is area of a triangle. So area of a triangle. So all of we know how to find out the area through if three vertices are given to us. I think in class 10 we get this formula, isn't it? So this one is the general formula, and why we put modulus? Because area never negative, so that's why we put modulus here. Now here, if three vertices are given to us, with the help of determinant, how can we solve this question? So now very simple here. First of all, you see the general formula or the basic formula is what? Half, and then determinant symbol we have to put, and one by one we have to put the vertices. So you see here the first vertices x1 y1, x2 y2, and x3 y3, and then in the third column we have to put 1 1 1. Remember, this one is the fixed process. In this way you have to put one by one the vertices x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3, and then in third column we have to put 1 1 1. It is fixed. We can't change this one. Is it clear? So here x1 y1, and then after that x3 y3 we can put one first vertices, second, third, serially we have to put. Is it clear? So here when in exam, if the vertices are given, either you can use clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. This one is depend on you, but the process you have to write in this way, and the third column must be 1 1 1. So this one is a 3 by 3 determinant, is not it? So all of we know how to expand this result. So after putting these vertices, and if we expand this result, then easily we get the answer. And here for easier calculation, you can solve or you can apply the properties also. If we transform R3 minus R2, and if we transform R2 tends to R2 minus R1, then 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 2 elements are 0, then easily we can expand. This method also we can apply here. Is it clear? So very easy and very simple here. In this way we can also find out the area of a triangle. Now here the main point is these nodes are very important here. If you see, the first one is mentioned here, since area is a positive quantity, so we always take the absolute value of the determinant. So that means after evaluating the determinant, very important this one, sometimes we get a negative value, remember. And if we get negative, then we have to take the absolute value, because area is always positive. So that's why we have to take the absolute value. Be careful about this. Sometimes the students, they are solving the question, and if he or she get a negative value, then the answer just write like in this way, in negative, not converting this one into a positive form. So that's why be careful about this. If anywhere if you get a negative value of a determinant, then you have to convert this one into positive by taking absolute. Okay, now next one is, if the area is given, we use both positive and negative values. So that means if area already given to us, so we have to take the area in both ways, in positive way and negative, in both way we have to solve this. Is it clear? And then next, third one is, if collinear, all of we know, if collinear, that means 3 points lie on a line, that means their area always 0, isn't it? So these three are the very important note here. So some examples are also there. If you see the examples, then easily you can get here. So let's see the examples. So now here, if you see, find the area of a triangle whose vertices are these three. So very simple, you see, first coordinate we write here, vertices 3 8, and then we put 1, then second one is minus 4 2 5 1. So easily we can calculate this, and then the result we get 61 by 2. If after evaluating, if this one we get minus 61 by 2, then we have to convert this one into absolute form. Is it clear? So in this way different questions are there, and here one exercise is also here, very simple and easy. So your task is what? You have to complete this exercise. So already here written homework, because in last batch they solve these exercises by themselves. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next topic is minors and cofactors. So first we discuss about minors. Very simple, very important topic, these two, minors and cofactors. So from a determinant of 3 by 3 or 2 by 2, from 3 by 3 or 2 by 2, easily we can find out the minors and cofactors. So how can we find out the minors and cofactors? Before this, first of all, you see the symbol. So the minors are generally denoted by capital M, Ij. So all of you know what is I and J. I is the number of rows and J is the number of columns. So if we consider an example, suppose this one is the example we consider. This one is first row, second row, third row. All of you know. Similarly, this one is first column, second column, third column. All of you know. So if anyone asks you, find out the minor of any element of this determinant. Suppose we consider 5. If we find out the minors of this 5, how can we solve this one? Let's see. First of all, we have to identify the position of this 5. So if you see the second row and second column, so that means the position of this one is 2 2. So that's why we have to find out the minor of M22. Is it clear? Now after that, what you have to do? With respect to this 5, the row and column we have to eliminate. So this 5 related to second row, so that means we have to eliminate this second row, and this 5 related to second column, so that's why we have to eliminate this second column. So that means if we eliminate this second row and second column, so 4 5 6 2 5 8 we have to eliminate. Then what will remain here? 1 3 7 9. Is it clear? I repeat this one again. If 5 is related to second row, so we have to eliminate this part, and 5 is related to second column, we have to eliminate this one. So that means here what will remain? 1 3 7 9. So that's why we have to write 1 3 7 9. So it is a 2 by 2 determinant now. So easily we can expand this. 1 into 9 minus 3 into 7. Easily we get the answer. Is it clear? Similarly, if anyone asks you to find out the determinant minors of 7, so we have to identify the position of this 7. Row 3, column 1. That means what is the position of this one? 3 1. So that's why we write here 3 1. So easily we can identify the value of 3 1. How can we identify? With respect to this 7, third row eliminate and first column eliminate. What will remain here? 2 3 5 6. And if we calculate this, then easily we get the answer. Is it clear? So now here, if the determinant is given 2 by 2, this one is for 3 by 3. Now if we consider 2 by 2 determinant, let's see here. This one is example. 1 2 3 4. If anyone asks you to find out any value, you have to find out. So if anyone asks you to find out the minors of 4, that means what is the position of this 4? Second row, second column. So that's why M22. So with respect to this 4, the second row, this one eliminate and this column eliminate. So what will remain? Only 1. So that's why the answer is what? 1. Is it clear? So now here the most important is what? Minimum order required. To find out the minor, minimum order must be 2. If less than 2, then the minor is not possible. Is it clear? So minimum order required for finding minors is order 2. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next one is cofactors. So first of all, if you see the cofactors, like minors, easily we can identify the cofactors also. So the general form or the cofactors are denoted by capital letter A. And Ij, all of you know, I is the number of rows and J is the number of columns. And the general formula of the cofactor is what? Aij. And according to our formula, -1 is the fixed formula, and I plus j. Here, depending on I and j, we have to write like in this way. Here, in general, we write I plus j. -1 is fixed, and with respect to this I plus j, we have to write -1 to the power I plus j. And Mij, all of we know this one. This one is what? Minors. So let's check out one example here. So the example is we consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here first row, second row, third row. Similarly, first column, second column, third column. So if anyone asks you to find out the cofactors of these 6, so what you have to do? First of all, we have to identify the position. Position is what? Second row and column, third column. second row, third column, and always we write row in first, then column. So second row, third column, that means A, 2, 3. 2 is the second row, 3 is the column. So that's why we write A, 2, 3. So according to the formula, we have to write -1. And in power, what we have to write? I plus j. So here I means what? 2, j means what? 3. So 2 plus 3 we have to write. And with respect to this, we have to write M23. M23 is what? The minor. So all of you know how to write minor. So -1 to the power 5 means minus. So for 6, if we find out the minor, this third column cancel and second row cancel. So what will remain? 1, 2, 7, 8. So that's why we write here 1, 2, 7, 8. Is it clear? Very easy. First we have to know how to find out minor, and then easily we can find out the cofactor. Is it clear? Okay, now here very important note, this one. Actually 2 notes are here. First of all, you see this one. So now here, according to this note, what given here written, sum of the product of elements of any row or any column with their corresponding cofactors. That means the meaning is what? If we consider suppose first row or first column, if we consider suppose the first column, so here what is the position? A11. So that's why we write element A11, and easily we can find out the cofactor of this one also. So which one is we represent by A11. And secondly, here the second element is A12 cofactor, then 7. So that's why we write A13 cofactor. That means element, and with this element we have to multiply their corresponding cofactors. So that's why we write here sum of the product of elements of any row or column with their corresponding cofactors. So element, small letter a, if we write, then it represent element, and capital letter A, it represent cofactor. So that means with the element, if we multiply their corresponding cofactors and add all the elements of row or column, then this one is the evaluation process. Another method, since we know the evaluation process, first one we have to take this one, eliminate these two, and then we write, then second element 4 we have to write, then third. This one is the process of evaluation. So here with the help of cofactors also easily we can evaluate the result. Is it clear? Now the condition is what? The row or column whatever we consider, we have to multiply it by their corresponding cofactors. Remember, if you consider the second column, then we have to multiply it by their corresponding cofactors. That means if we consider 2, 5, 8, we have to multiply it by 2 cofactors, 5 cofactors, 8 cofactors. Is it clear? Then we get the value. So now here the question is arise. If suppose we consider the elements are 1, 4, 7, and if we multiply with other row elements cofactor, suppose we consider the elements are 1, 4, 7 and we multiplied with the cofactor of 3, 6, 9. Or if we consider the elements suppose 1, 4, 7 and we multiplied the cofactor with 4, 5, 6, then what we get? Not corresponding. Then in this case, if we multiply it with other cofactors, then the value is always 0. Listen carefully, then we get the value is always 0. Let's see this one. So this one is here. If elements of a row or column are multiplied with cofactors of any other row or column, then their sum is 0. So that means first, suppose we consider first row 2 minus 3, 5, and we multiplied by the cofactors of 1, 5, 7, then the value is what? 0. You see here, first row, that means A11, the position of this element is A11, A12, A13, and the cofactors we multiplied with this one, A31, A32, A33, you see here, then the value is always 0. So without doing anything, easily we can write the answer is what? 0. Is it clear? So in this way, easily we can solve the questions here. For example, here one example also here consider. So now let's see here one more example. If you see this example here, so the example is given like in this way: find minors and cofactors of the element. So easily we can find out the minors first, here the minors, and then we can find out the cofactors also, and then verify this result. So verify A11. So A11 means which element? A11, small letter A, element. So A11 means 2. A12 that means minus 3, A13 that means 5, is not it? So now next we need the cofactor A31. 31 is what? 31 is 1, this one, is not it? So we have to find out the cofactor of this element and then multiply with A11. A11 means 2, and then in this way if we calculate, let's see what you get. If you get the result is 0, then our proof is complete here. Is it clear? So in this way easily we can find out the minors and cofactors. Practice properly, then easily you can solve, because here these minors and cofactors are very important. Now if you see the exercise 4.4, minors and cofactors we have to find out. So easily we can find out the minors and cofactors of this 4 result, I think, using cofactors of elements of second row. So now here we have to evaluate this result with the help of second row. So that means second row is which one? A201. So that means A21, A22, A23. So that means we have to write down the element into cofactor and then you have to evaluate. That means small letter A21 into capital letter A21. Capital letter A is cofactor. Then second one is 0. I think no need to write. Plus the third one is we have to write A23, small letter A23 into capital letter A23. Capital letter A is the cofactor, and then if you evaluate, then you get the value. Similarly, using cofactors of the third column means with the help of this one. So with the help of this third column, the elements are this, and you have to multiply their corresponding cofactors and then evaluate this result. So in this way easily we can solve these questions. Is it clear? So your task is what? You have to complete this exercise 4.3 and 4.4. So in our next class we start adjoint and inverse of a matrix. So actually in adjoint and inverse, the minors and cofactors are very important. So that's why first practice properly, then easily you can understand the adjoint of a matrix and the inverse of a matrix. Is it clear? Okay, thank you.